You're worried about hurting morale. You're thinking about, how do I do this delicately? How do I do this gracefully? Are you trying to get this done? Are you trying to just find ways to not make progress? Because if you have high performers, they want to be around other high performers. And it's like that expression we give where somebody is trying to be so gentle when they're firing someone that they scramble the words on a whiteboard, "You're fired," and then leave the room and say, "Hey, figure out what this says." And then the person has to figure out that they're fired, right? Because someone wants to be gentle and they want to be able to give them grace. Sometimes, you have to fire someone and they end up leaving your office with a bonus, right? And a higher salary. Then they're still there. Wow, right? That was graceful, huh? So as Chris Voss, who is a good friend, and we learned so much from what he's shared, and he actually shared this on one of the first podcasts we did, is that it's not really a good way to slowly cut someone's head off, okay? Because that's torture. So you want to be quick and you want to be able to get to the point. So if the question is, it's like, how do I address something gracefully? I mean, again, I understand the nuance of the question in the sense that you don't want to come in all guns blazing and, be a jerk or anything like that. You want to be mindful of the fact that sometimes you don't want to criticize in public. You want to do that in private, one-on-one with the person. You want to provide them with, just clarity around what they can do to improve and how they can grow, and, training opportunities and development opportunities. You want to, obviously be clear on those things. You don't want to just come in and say, you guys suck and you need to do better, right? Because that's not very helpful to someone because they don't know what they need to do better or why they suck. I guess my point here is though I would be less worried about hurting morale, because I think you will improve morale in the long term when you address performance and you raise the standard of the organization. Because winning is fun and being successful is fun. And the best people want to be at the best organizations and winning organizations. You really have to decide for yourself what type of organization you're going to be and whether you're going to tolerate low performance over high performance, because that's exactly what you're doing. The high performers are just performing high because that's just who they are, but you're willing to tolerate low performance. So it's only a matter of time before the high performers saying, screw this, right? Like, why am I performing at this level when these other people get to exist performing at that level? And I'm just going to lower my performance. I'm going to quietly quit, all right? I'm going to be here and receive a paycheck, but I'm going to do just enough to not get fired, right? Isn't that the typical approach here? So I would be less concerned about doing it gracefully, and I'd be more concerned about doing it effectively. And sometimes you have to say something that's going to bother someone. And that's okay that it bothers them, because if it didn't bother them, they wouldn't care. And it's also making it clear that what are the non-negotiables, what are the minimum standards of the organization, what are you no longer going to tolerate? At the same time, I love you and let's help you get there. If you're committed to it, but if they're not committed to doing better and they don't want to be better and they don't want to be more successful, or they just don't really want to buy into the standard that you set for the organization, well, that's not going to be an option at the organization, unfortunately.